Okay. So I think that's a mistake I've been making is taunting too many of my resets in these mech.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a common thing to do.
We just take the gamble here because we're not gonna have awkward. What are we selling? We could put Loa bots on the two menaces, and then
You have banner board if you want to fix positioning. Like,
Are we selling Scraper?
this one's weird because you're either letting one of your menaces die on purpose or not, right?
I'm gonna sell Scraper.
Yeah, okay. You can sell Scraper and then Tunnel Blaster.
Yep.
I think you're
first, yeah.
I think you're honestly fine just leaving it like this. Yeah, but it's this is really, really weird to explain how to do this. But the usual one is to leave one menace in blaster range. And then say, hey, you're gonna AoE me. My blaster is gonna insta reset, and then I attack again. But again, because we're very specifically playing Little League and you have a very good idea what they have on their board, you know they're not going to one-shot your Deflectobot anyway. So it's probably better the way we did it to not have both menaces die to it. Or one menace die to it and just keep both of them alive. That makes sense. Yeah, we dealt massive damage to their Deflectobots here. Blaster really helped versus George. That's nice.
Yeah, we did. I think we win. Yep.
Still lethal. But that's a tough thing to explain. That's very, very like meta specific. Like, oh, I'm fighting George here, and it's Little League, and they don't one shot, so maybe not. But yeah, generally speaking, Blaster leaving one reset in blaster range is fair because that's very safe. All right, well, we kind of need Leroy.
Don't like our chances. So I guess the Sneeds and
yeah.
I mean, all right. So Molobot.
Sure.
Necro, sure.
Yeah.
Are we keeping Blaster? He did have two, but I think we have more.
We're not blasting ourselves this time, no. Yeah. That's a George only privilege he gets.
Okay, so we're not doing that annoying module.
No, we're rolling for resets.
Okay, yeah. No reset.
Yeah, you got it. You can sell them. You can sell the module for Sneeds, and you can. Or I guess you have Necrolite to sell. It's fine. You can sell Necrolite instead. It doesn't matter. You don't need that money. Yeah. It's fine. If it's imperfect, it doesn't matter. Then just play around. Shit. Just try to play around Cleave a little bit.
Yep.
Actually, yeah. Okay, this is again too difficult to explain, but definitely don't have the mummy over there.
Yeah, okay. I could have spent more time.
No, it's fine. I mean, I don't think it matters. I think it's going to be too large by the time we fight him. Okay, so what I was thinking was using one Deflectobot as cleave protection in the back, but I don't know if that's too much. Like, we could even taunt our Deflectobots for this, where we just have taunted Deflectos, and then the rest is just resets. I think that in a lobby where there is no Bramble Witch, where there is no there's no Bramble Witch, there's no Leroy, that probably has merit. Oh my god. Are we good here?
We got
far left, baby. All right, we got him, right? Let's go, baby.
Okay,
so like I was saying, he has no chance. We finish him right now. All right. No, but aside from the finish, that gives you a pretty good idea what Little League is about, right? It's
yeah.
It's just go hard into a direction straight away. Be like, all right, Quillbore Mech or buff with a Bream, or maybe you start with the Reef, the Lurker, you hit the the Zesty, you can go into that. But my all-time favorite, of course, is big Deflectobots, because that's just very tough to beat. Like, there's just something about Deflectobot where if you have two large Deflectobot, like we just had a man with an 800 damage cleave, and he's like, "How am I losing?" It's like two Deflectobots.
Sorry. So like in the heat of the game, I was not fully grokking what you were saying. So I got the part of. So I think there are at least two big takeaways. One is I have probably been taunting my resets too much in these mech comps. So I was hearing you say like you want one or maybe two at most, because otherwise you're not getting enough hits, repeat hits on your Deflectos.
Yes, like the reason why Deflecto is a sick unit is it's a shield that you're pretty much guaranteed to get back, which is already like, that's ludicrous, right? When you say, oh, that's a shield unit, but it gets it back. Like, what? 2 shields? But wait, there's more, right? It's like, you can put the resets on both of them, and then it's like, now I have 3 shields, almost guaranteed. What if we put some more resets in the back without taunt, and then our opponent hits into Deflecto, you might get 4 or 5 shields in one fight, right? So that's where you really push like the ridiculousness, is when one giant unit gets shielded 5 times in a combat. And that is just not impossible at all when you have 3 or 4 resets in the back and they're not taunted, or like 2 of them are not taunted.
That makes sense. And then the other point you were making is, rare occasions you would want to blast your own microbots for the reset, right?
For the most part, it's counter blaster. So you leave 1 reset in blaster range, so they blaster you, insta resets because it kills your mummy, your Deflectobots are good to go. So that's mainly counter blaster tech. Again, right? High level, very specific, but I may as well, give it to you because that's not irrelevant. You do play mech boards from time to time, and you will get blastered. So something to keep in mind for end games, especially when you expect the blaster, is have 1 reset, die the blaster. That way your positioning can remain perfectly the same, assuming there's no taunted Leroy, and you'll be reshielded immediately.
That makes sense.
All right.
Any other, I think maybe one more takeaway that you'd mentioned in this game? Anything else come to mind?
Well, it's just the whole Little League thing, right? So that is don't waste too much time. Just go straight towards where you want to go. Push into the Quillbore Mech thing. Try to be strong. Push into the Bream thing. Push into this. And this is by far not certain yet, but the hypothesis I have right now is that going really fast to 4 might not be good in these lobbies, because going to 4 is the last time you're leveling. So exchanging a chunk of health for fast 4 is unlikely to be good when you kind of get to 4 automatically anyways in these lobbies. So I think you can do fast 4 if it doesn't cost you health. If it's going to cost you a chunk of health, then I don't think that's a good idea at all. I think you're better off at least fill your board to 7 units, right? Like, be on tier 3, get 7 units on tier 3, and the moment your board has 7 units, improvements to your board are going to be much less impactful, because the difference between no unit or add an extra unit is quite large, as opposed to let me just trade this unit for a better unit. So I think that's a good, just generic thing to have in the back of your mind. If I play in Little League, probably want 7 units on my board before I go to 4. Not always, but it's probably a good rule of thumb to have.
Makes sense.
All right. Yeah, I think we can do one more. That's fine. Maybe not too much discussion at the end, though. We can do one more.
Okay.